mynews.studio.
A river in Guatemala sent a wave of plastic debris straight into the Caribbean. The question is, can new technology actually stop it where it starts?
Today's date is July 6th, 2025. When it comes to plastic pollution in our oceans, it's hard to know where to start. Right now, there are trillions of pieces out there, affecting marine life and ultimately us. What's driving this problem? Mainly rivers. 1,000 of them, to be exact, are responsible for up to 80% of the plastic that ends up in the sea.
One of the most significant sources is the Las Vacas River in Guatemala. It channels sewage, plastic, and other debris from Guatemala City straight into the Caribbean. The outcome is what locals call trash tsunamis, waves of garbage devastating not just nearby areas but also distant marine ecosystems. The bigger question is, what's being done to address this?
That's where the ocean cleanup steps in. Their target is ambitious: remove 90% of floating ocean plastic by the year 2040. But it's not as simple as just pulling everything out of the ocean. Their latest strategy involves installing something called the Interceptor barricade in the Las Vacas River.
Right, and that follows an earlier attempt, the trash fence, which couldn't withstand the river's severe floods. The Interceptor barricade is different. It uses two floating booms built to endure those strong surges, capturing tons of debris before it ever reaches the ocean. But why focus on rivers in the first place, instead of just cleaning up the plastic already out in the ocean?
It's really about acting early and in the right places. Systems like the Interceptor barricade catch plastic before it spreads through the ocean. They're designed to handle dramatic seasonal floods. Floating barriers trap solid waste but still let water flow through. By contrast, ocean-based setups, like the ones in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, collect plastic that's already dispersed and mixed with other debris. The river approach tends to be more efficient.
Because you're stopping it before it's diluted and far more difficult to collect, right?
Exactly. Removing plastic from rivers generally means more waste is collected for each dollar spent and each hour of effort. Recent trials with the Interceptor barricade, for example, stopped the equivalent of 120 truckloads of trash.
But it's not all about high-tech solutions. Local organizations like Clean Ocean are putting in simpler barriers too. In some cases, they're able to trap up to 90% of what floats downstream. And instead of just disposing of it, some of these plastics get new uses, like being turned into vinyl records for musicians.
That's a good example of turning a problem into an opportunity. But for people living along these rivers, there's more.
Like the new recycling plants in Guatemala. The Biosfera GT facility, for instance, sorts and transforms waste, and it's employing locals, many of them women and single mothers. So these efforts aren't just about the environment, they're also about supporting local economies and social stability.
And that kind of change matters. Stable jobs and training in recycling can have long-term benefits, especially in communities that have been left out of formal economies. It's a ripple effect, reaching far beyond just cleaning up riverbanks.
But stepping back, why does so much plastic end up in these rivers to begin with? What's stopping us from tackling the problem further upstream?
It mostly comes down to gaps in waste management. Many areas don't have reliable trash collection. Some landfills are built too close to waterways, and illegal dumping is widespread. There's often just not enough infrastructure to handle the waste.
So, the solutions need to be multi-layered. That includes better municipal waste services, educational initiatives, local trapping devices, and recycling programs. Plus, you need policy support and investment from governments and nonprofits to expand what's working.
And this isn't just a local lesson. Combining larger-scale innovation with grassroots actions could be applied in many places. It shows how local changes can have global impacts, especially when we're dealing with something as interconnected as the oceans.
So the big question, is all this enough to reverse the trend, or are we just slowing it down? We don't have a final answer yet, but these projects clearly show that coordinated action can lead to measurable progress.
That covers today's episode. We explored river-based solutions like the Interceptor barricade, their impact on the environment and local communities, and the main challenges that remain.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it now for free.